It's a real pleasure to be here with Alec Kushnir from Carbon Streaming. Thank you so much for joining me, Alec. And maybe to start, tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, and your role in the investor ecosystem.
Well, thank you for having me, Jason. I always love spending time with you and enjoy our partnership on Biochar. So just to give you some background on myself, I'm a former investment banking, commodity trading, and energy asset development. I have a background in those fields. I've been with Carbon Streaming for over 3.5 years. Prior to coming to work at Carbon Streaming, I was developing LNG terminals and power plants for New Fortress Energy. Since I've joined Carbon Streaming, we've raised $150 million and went public on the CBOE Exchange Canada. We've been very busy deploying that capital. To date, we have streaming investments in over 24 projects located in 12 countries. Everything from avoidance projects such as REDD+ or forest conservation projects to cook stove projects spread out throughout Sub-Saharan Africa and Tanzania, Uganda, Mozambique. We've also have alternate wetting and drying rice farming projects in India. And on the removal side, we're very much focused on biochar, our favorite topic, and ARR projects, afforestation, reforestation projects, where we're building up our portfolio in those two particular project types.
A lot of commonalities, obviously, between us. Of course, I come from the space of working on financing energy as a service, microgrid, looking at the role of renewables in large public-private partnerships. I also have deep admiration for Carbon Streaming and just leading from the front, getting out there, being on the ground, internationally, having lived in many of these places myself. I think that's a huge part of the equation. And really revolutionizing the streaming agreement. I get the question a lot, what is a streaming agreement? How does it apply to carbon markets and biochar projects? Maybe if you can walk us through that a little bit, it would be very helpful for project developers that are listening to this.
No, happy to do that. Streaming is really a form of commodity denominated financing. And what we've done is that form of commodity denominated financing has been very successfully and widely used in the mining and energy space. And what we've done is really adapted it for carbon. So streaming basically provides a prepayment for future delivery, in this case of credits. And that prepayment amount is used by projects specifically in biochar projects, to partially fund the construction and operation of the project. And in exchange for providing that upfront financing, we usually receive 100% of the credits from the projects. We sell those credits on a spot and forward basis, and we share the bulk of the revenues back to the project. Our project development partners, keeping a portion for ourselves, and that's how we generate return on that upfront investment that we made into the project.
Sounds very compelling. I'm sure project developers listening are saying, okay, I want to get access to a program like this. I want to be part of it and figure out the right things to do. What do you look for? So when you're scanning projects that you would successfully potentially look to engage in a streaming contract or agreement with, what are some of the key elements that they should be planning to have and present?
No, absolutely. So we have two existing investments in biochar projects. Both are up, finished construction and are basically in operation. So we've learned a lot about biochar project development and construction. And I think one of the key lessons here is to work with a strong sponsor that has access to additional forms of capital. So that's key. Another one is to also have access to very attractive feedstock on attractive terms. I think that's very important, probably one of the main, most important elements that drives the economics for these biochar projects. And obviously technology selection and project design is also important. and having a good plan, a marketing plan for what's gonna, in terms of how you're gonna sell the biochar. We're also looking for a good marketing plan for the biochar, and hopefully offtake agreements. Our role is not only financing the project, but also securing offtake for the credits that are generated from the project. So we are going to be responsible for placing those credits under long-term forward sale agreements. So that's something we bring to the table to projects. So you could kind of start to define cash flows and lock in cash flows that are beneficial to us and also to our project development partners. So strong sponsorship, access to attractive feedstock, proven technology, and scale too. We're looking for projects that are have the potential to scale, maybe do an initial phase and have opportunity to add on as well.
And Alec, you in carbon streaming are in a very unique position where you can kind of zoom out and look at the macroeconomics and the microeconomics of the overarching space. So you've had experience in a lot of different sectors of the carbon market. What are some of the distinct advantages and disadvantages, if you drill in a little bit more, to biochar versus some of the other technologies you've seen? Certainly afforestation, reforestation is one. I spent time on the Hill this week, so direct air capture is a very popular topic. There's a lot of money being allocated into that space, certainly through 45Q and other incentives. Maybe talk us through that from your lens in carbon streaming.
Yeah, so we went through an extensive kind of analysis to really look at what are our options for engineered technology removal projects. And we've landed on biochar because we believe it has several advantages over other engineered technical removal project types. One is its cost. It compared to, like, let's say direct air capture or some other technology based project, it's able to basically generate credits at a much lower cost than those other technologies. Two is scalability. There is vast amounts of attractive biomass waste in this country, and biochar is a perfect application to take advantage of that feedstock. And also, we have a proven technology, one that still needs to develop and scale, but at least on a commercial scale, it is available from multiple equipment vendors. So that's also very attractive. And also the permanence of the actual biochar that's produced. You're looking at, if you're using high temperature equipment, you should be able to lock in permanence of 100+ years.
Low H to C ratios versus lower temperature, low tech technology.
Exactly. So we are focused on the high tech biochar because of that permanence feature. But basically, we see and another very key element in terms of why we're focused on biochar is demand from buyers for those types of CDR credits. You have corporates who are looking for removals, and there's vast demand for biochar credits that right now can't be met.
That's something we hear constantly, and a few of the other speakers on this investor series are pre-purchasers, corporates that are actively looking to source biochar credits for projects. Hopefully that will come through our collective partnership. And this, what you say, drives me to the next point, which is something near and dear to our heart, certainly coming from the space we've been in, is maximizing economics, maximizing revenue streams, and lots of question around byproducts. I think I saw a statistic. I think it's 8% of biochar projects, I think it's worldwide, are producing energy as a byproduct. And certainly there's a lot of elements tied to that and other economic streams that make it very attractive to lock in for the long term. What are you seeing when it comes to byproducts and other revenue streams? And what is kind of do you have a gold standard or a threshold that you're looking for when analyzing these projects and breaking them down?
Well, the byproducts present an additional opportunity for multiple revenue streams. So that's also very attractive to us. And the biochar itself, obviously, in the U.S., you have the NRCS 336 program.
Yes.
which is very supportive of purchase by farmers for soil amendment applications. So that's also a key component for us. Basically, we see an opportunity to have fully contracted cash flows, not only on the carbon credit side, but also on the on the biochar side, but also on the byproducts. So our Virginia project is producing pyrolysis oil, which right now the market is so nascent, it really hasn't even started to take off, but the potential there is huge, not only for use as blending as a renewable diesel or naphtha, but it could be used to create plastic, which gives it even more value. That's really exciting to us, because you have these projects that have, depending on their design and kind of what the best uses are for that excess energy that they're throwing off, have the potential for physical environmental commodities like biochar, pyrolysis oil, energy, and all of it is renewable.
And I think there's a lot of new entrants into the market, especially on the investor side. Part of why we're doing this series is to really educate folks on the opportunity that is at the table here to engage in this marketplace. And one of the things, and it's really important for both carbon streaming and grain, is around integrity, transparency, but not being afraid, again, to lead from the front and start pushing the market forward. How do you approach transparency, accountability, thinking about the elements of measurement, reporting, and verification, so that the individuals procuring the credits or engaging in these projects in other magnitudes, as whether it's LPs or it's family offices, et cetera, can sleep good at night, knowing the project is doing what it says it's doing in terms of sequestration, but also, of course, ring fencing the cash flows and ensuring the integrity of the credit revenue streams.
No, sure. I mean, look, in terms of portfolio-wide, we are definitely focused on integrating digital MRV into all of our projects. So we're doing that in our rice farming project through satellite MRV. For our cookstove projects, we're integrating remote sensing. And for biochar, you already have this fantastic opportunity, because all of this data is already mostly available already in the plants in terms of the feedstock that's coming in, and all the equipment sensors that are already kind of built in. So you could trace, specific lots of feedstock going into the plants. You could trace all of the processing that's happening, the temperatures, and then you could also trace the biochar that's being produced, and that both the quality, and also you could trace the biochar going out and being applied for usage. So you have full opportunity to trace the entire process with biochar, and that technology is already kind of exists. It's already embedded in most of these projects, and we're working with project developers to help them take all of the information, first of all, package it in a way that could be used to do the verification in order to issue the credits, but also make that data available to credit buyers so they could see that there's full transparency on how the carbon is being sequestered, how, from feedstock to biochar application.
Well, Alec, I will round us out with one of my favorite questions. Ultimately, we're an ecosystem for a reason. Great ecosystem collaboration is critical. Could you provide a little bit of insight into how you've collaborated with the team at Grain so far, and maybe share some details on how you envision Grain helping to de-risk some of these investments, drive capital into the marketplace, and ultimately what you see if you're looking your little crystal ball?
Sure.
Certainly engagement and being active and showing up is really critical to have a lens to the future. And I think you do this better than most people. You are there. Whether I talk to you and you're in Indonesia or you're on the ground in the middle of the US, you're very, very present. And that's what makes partnerships and projects tick. So maybe if you could close us out with that, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure. Well, we love working with the Grain team because they bring several things in terms of the project development process, and basically supporting developers, because there is a lot of support that's required in terms of the whole project development process that your team is providing to the project developer, and also kind of helping them tie the pieces together helping them secure capital by packaging the information that they have in a way that's easily digestible by investors, and everything also in terms of dealing with the standards like Puro and helping them set up the whole process for credit validation, for the project validation and credit verification. So kind of end to end, you guys have a team that supports the developer from capital raising to actual credit issuance.
Alec, it's all about aligning and maximizing resources and capabilities. We all have limited time, limited capital, and certainly the planet has limited time. And the work you're doing in carbon streaming is really fantastic. Our audience loves staying in front of it, and I'm really grateful for the partnership and the collaboration we continue to have. Looking forward to planting a flag on many great biochar projects.
Jason, always a pleasure to spend time with you, and we are excited about our partnership and looking forward to announcing many deals through our partnership.